Greetings from Lokoja Diocese, and I'm delighted to be able to communicate with you in this way. You are getting this because you have identified yourself at one point or another as a part of this diocese, either as a son or daughter or a friend, and we appreciate that very much. We believe that we have come to a point where we should let you know some of our challenges as a diocese and our opportunities and our blessings. It will help you in praying for us. It will help you in finding what role God might be asking you to play in partnership with us. Feel very free to get back to us on this, or even to pass it on to other friends or others who are from here that you believe would need this kind of information. We do not need to go too far back into the history of Lokoja Diocese, except to say that what is Lokoja Diocese today gives us the joy of being the cradle of Christianity in northern Nigeria. You know, when the first mission station was founded in a place called Bobe on the east of the Niger. It is a community that is still alive, and indeed in the first 10 years of the diocese, God used our pioneer bishop, the Right Reverend George Bako, OON, to put up a chapel there to draw attention to the historicity of that location. What makes it important, apart from being the location of the first CMS mission station, it also was the location of the very first baptism in northern Nigeria, which took place on 14th of September 1862 by the one known then as the Reverend Samuel Ajayi Crowther. Well, today Lokoja Diocese is a diocese. It became a diocese in 1994. That's about 29 years ago. And you will see that despite that early contact, becoming a diocese was so late in time. In any case, we have taken our strides. One thing that appears quite challenging is the fact that within about the first 11 years, after about the first 11 years of becoming a diocese, we started giving birth, as it were, to other dioceses. There was the creation of the Diocese of Ida in about March 2005, and then by 2008 into 2009, 3 others were yet created. We had Ijumu and Okene created on the same day in 2008, and shortly after, the Diocese of Ogorimagongo. We are happy that they've been created as autonomous dioceses, but we're still in the same province. What that meant for us was that we needed to go more to the grassroots and do evangelistic work, because evangelism remains a major emphasis of the diocese. And you'll be amazed how many places need to be touched, or some of the places that were thriving mission stations or churches in the past that have become quite thin, and we do need to still extend services to them. So we do thank God for all who over the years have been kind-hearted, because one thing that you will know is that with all these opportunities for mission, the means of carrying out the mission is not so thick on the ground, as it were. Living in a place like this means that we have to come to terms with the fact that this is not an industrial area. You will ask me, how about Ajaokuta? I'm sure you know that that's a white elephant project unless God makes something happen. So about 65% of Lokoja Diocese is rural, and so it's just a few of the churches, I cannot count up to 10, that are able to really shoulder the responsibilities of funding the diocese. And here is a diocese with about 88 churches, manned by about 55 clergy. And some of these clergy are also non-stipendiary. Now, along with other workers like evangelists and office staff, our wage bill monthly, even when we are paying stipends in some cases, comes to a little over 2 million. Now, add other expenses, our responsibilities to the Church of Nigeria, running costs, you will know that we are looking at huge sums every month. And where must this come from? We tried saying, okay, churches should remit their 70% proceeds every Sunday. You will be surprised, maybe not surprised, that in some of our rural churches, what they get as 70% on a Sunday is less than 1,000 naira. And yet you have to pay workers. Now, it's clear that we do need, therefore, the help of many people. When my ministry started in 2004, one of the things we did was to put in place a big fundraising event, and thank God for all those who really came together to make it happen in 2005. That helped us to put up some structures that were not in place, notably, for instance, the bishop's residence, and to bring up, to take the work further on the cathedral from what had been done. And of course, there are things that we have had to do, legacies of landed properties from the past given to us. And we've tried to maintain the missionary focus of the diocese by saying, okay, our schools have been taken over by government. How can we make sure that one of the greatest things we're known for, provision of quality mission education, can be maintained, since the government wasn't returning our schools back to us? Crowther Memorial College, still, we are just called proprietors and can appoint principals, but the government has been very reluctant to release it. There's Basange Grammar School in Boloko. So we just said, okay, fine. Instead of crying that they've not given this to us, we will still maintain an interest in the little space given to us, but we must start something. So we started what we call Good Shepherd Anglican Academy, a secondary school that we started on a temporary site while developing the permanent site, which is the land that has been given to us. We have there a block of 5 classrooms and another block of a story building of 10 classrooms. We slowed down because of the security situation, given the location there, the anxieties of parents, and we said, okay, we will do it. And while slowing down, we became victims of what I would call the hostility of the present administration. Our land that the women were developing with 4 buildings, fenced round with a borehole, was taken over. They said immigrations needed it. And I tell you, what was now paid as compensation could not even raise 1 building. Soon after, again, our permanent site, 13 hectares. This is a land that we've been developing over the years. Slow, of course, for lack of funds, have been taken over again. And they are just trying to leave us 4 hectares. We're still fighting that. But even the secondary school itself, we charge what is affordable to our people here, and even that can hardly provide meals for a term. So it's highly subsidized. Well, we cannot blame people for being poor in a state that is mainly a civil service state, and with retirees who don't even get their entitlements regularly, and when they do, it is probably in fractions. And we have thought that we must give the opportunity to you who probably have not done as you would have loved to do if you had all the information we are now giving. And so we are doing this to invite you to a more deliberate and robust partnership with us. We can't tell you all the problems, but we must also tell you some of our blessings. For instance, a family has undertaken in the past couple of years, actually from about 2020 really, till last year, they have consistently provided trailer loads of bags of rice and other condiments, tomato, oil, not only for clergy families at Christmas, but we've been able to share with orphanages and indeed provided that to help cushion the catering needs of our secondary school, Good Shepherd, and some of the conferences we have had. And I'm sure you will easily know that this runs to millions. And we are grateful to God for what He's using them to do. We have tried to do other things by way of investments to bring in money. We try to set up a printing press, to work on the bookshop, to do wafer making machine. But I can tell you that most of these things have run into management issues and so many other issues. And we are inviting you to consider making contact with us in one of several ways. There was a time when the person we made our bishop's commissary for the diocese in Abuja planned a dinner where he invited friends and children of the diocese, and we went and we told them about the diocese, our opportunities and our challenges, so that people could make a response. Where there was minimal response, we thought we would repeat this. This was Dr. Galadima, Dr. GTN Ajakpo Galadima of Lokoja, of blessed memory. We thought we could repeat this either there or in some other urban centers and cities like maybe Kaduna, Port Harcourt, Lagos. That hasn't happened. There's no reason it shouldn't happen, especially now that you know, we can take advantage of online facilities. I'm sure that you may want to just invite some friends together and say, okay, we're putting you online, talk to us about our diocese. There's a lot you can do. You can contribute towards this monthly nightmare of raising about 2.5 just for wages, or you can say, okay, for the school we want to equip a lab or build a hostel, name it after yourself, name it after your parents, or even the Bobe situation. The chapel there came down during the floods last year, but thankfully we had already started the first phase of what we call a retreat center to invite people there for retreats. So that is still standing, but that chapel definitely needs to come up again because it's a place of great significance in the history of Christianity in northern Nigeria. Well, thank you for your time in listening to this, and we do trust that you will find that this is useful. You will see our account details, you will see our email, and by July this year we will be having our synod, and we would love to be able to invite your participation in one way or another. May the Lord bless you as you join hands with us, and who knows, God may be reserving special blessings for you for supporting His work in this diocese. The missionaries, foreign missionaries, did their best. It's our time to do our best, and I can assure you that the farmers and the people here really can't shoulder what is required to just move the diocese. Thank you.